Here we go. Okay, what's up, everybody? Today is the rebuild of the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, winning the Super Bowl. They come into this year, they lose in the wild card round. The offense was kind of down all year. The defense played really great at the end. So we're going to try to, I wouldn't even call it a rebuild. We're going to try to reload this team, see if we can get back to the Super Bowl late playoff push. We're going to start with player negotiations. We are going to accept Jalen Carter's fifth-year option. Huge fan of his game. Definitely going to look to sign him long term. He's a force up the middle with Jordan Davis. We are also going to accept the option on Nolan Smith Jr. as well. So he'll be our edge rusher off the right side. This is where it kind of gets interesting. We have Dallas Goedert. His contract's expired, and we also have Jalen Phillips. I really want to re-sign Jalen Phillips. He's not that interested, and I know we're gonna have to pay him a lot. So he's looking at 16 million a year. We're gonna give him a $10 million salary. We're gonna offer him 19 for 3 years. So that would be about, let me see, math wise, 19 be 38. So it'd be about 57 a year, 57 total, 19 a year. See if he takes that. Okay, so he does want to test. I'm just really afraid of losing him. If we tag him, it'll be 30 million, which is a lot, but I really don't want to lose him, and I'd rather try to sign him long term. So we are gonna tag him. It's definitely an overpay, but I'm just afraid that he's gonna walk, and I don't want to lose him. So we are gonna tag him. We are gonna try to sign Goddard. He's very interested in a 1-year deal. We're gonna offer him $15 million. I think we're gonna eventually move him, but we are gonna continue to sign him for another year. Now, the good thing that works out, too, is we're going to let Jair Alexander walk. We're going to let Ajulari walk because, he's 26. He does have star dev, but he would be a backup for us. We have to save as much money as we can. Adoree Jackson, we're going to let walk as well. He is pretty cheap, though. Maybe we will keep Adoree Jackson because he's fairly cheap, and he's 30. Let's see if we could just sign him for that. This would just be 4 million a year. Maybe we can do like 3.9. Okay, so he's just gonna test. So we'll let him walk. Tried to keep him for cheap. Nakobe Dean, we're gonna let walk, even though he's interested. We have Jihad Campbell, so we're gonna let him be the star Mike for us. Reed Blankenship, we definitely can't let go. He's gonna be fairly cheap too. So we'll keep him for 7 million a year. So 3 years, 21 million. We love that deal for him. He'll be our starting free safety. Jahan Dotson, we're going to let walk. Uche, we're going to let walk. Dylan as well. Howell. So nobody we're really going to re-sign here. I think the only guy we want to keep, I would like to keep Covey because I think he's a good return man. So we'll keep Covey around. And I think we just have to sign Mann, our punter, too. Yeah. So we got to sign Mann. Do a 2-year deal with him. Okay, so he's actually going to end up walking. What about our long snapper? Okay, he's going to walk too. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to head into free agency, try to make some signings, see who's available, and then get ready for the draft. Okay, so if we look at the free agency recap, we see Javonte Williams went to the Bengals. Batonio went to the Chargers. We did sign Taylor Moton because Lane Johnson retired, so good veteran presence to fill the right tackle. Brisker goes to the Titans. Cole Mack back to the Raiders. DJ Reader back to the Bengals. If you just look overall at our signings, we did sign Moton. We also did sign Christian Kirk as well. We signed Calcaterra back, and we did sign a long snapper. Now, the reason I signed Kirk is I am thinking of moving off A.J. Brown. I don't really see a situation where he goes back to Philly next year. I just think it's going to be kind of tough. So we're going to entertain some A.J. Brown trades before the draft, see if we like a deal that we can do, maybe move up, maybe get another defensive piece or offensive guy, and then we'll go to the draft, but we'll see what offers we can get for A.J. Brown right now. Okay, so if you look at the trade offers for A.J. Brown, we definitely have some solid ones. Quinshon Judkins, I don't hate that, but we also have Barkley, and I love Tanks Bigsby as well. Josh Sweat would be a good pass rusher. Joel Bitonio, he just signed, so I don't really think they would do that. ETN. Joe Tittman, I'm interested in that because we could use more help on the line and a second-round pick as well. I could see A.J. Brown potentially going to the Jets too. Panthers offer a Scorton. Spillane, not really interested in Jeremy Chin. Dotson, Reed, Love, Steelers. I think this is the trade that we are going to do, though. Kamari Lassiter is an unbelievable corner. I think he's going to develop really well. He is superstar dev. And our corners would be Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Lassiter. We still get a 4th-round pick this year and a 3rd-round pick next year. So we are going to do that trade with the Houston Texans. I think the Texans really do need another playmaker alongside Nico Collins as well to help that offense out as much. And at corner, they still have Singletary and Petrie as well. So we don't do that trade for Lassiter. We do trade A.J. Brown. We just needed something different to shake it up. So we are going to go to the draft. Okay, so we are on the board right now at 26. This is what all the picks are looking like. So we really could potentially use a right guard. We could also use another wide receiver as well. Cardinal Tate is available. Also Makai Lemon, Brazil the second as well. I'm going to take Cardinal Tate here too. We have another big wide receiver to put next to Devontae Smith. So we are going to add Cardinal Tate to this team. Him falling at 26 is a steal for us, and he's 14 in true value, and we get him at 26. So let's sim to the next round and see what we can get in the second. So we are here in the second round, and there's no one really on the board that I'm crazy about. So we are going to do this trade with the Packers. We're going to get a 2nd-round pick and a 3rd-round pick next year along with a 7th. That would give us 3 threes for next year as well. So that's a lot of capital we can move up in the draft next year. So we are going to trade this pick and get more capital for next year. But we'll take a look to see who's available in the 3rd round. Okay, so we are here in the 3rd round, and we are going to take A.J. Halsey here out of LSU. I do like Blankenship at free safety as well, but I love having depth back there. We'll take a look. He did test, not terrible. He's pretty strong. Not super fast guy, but in real life, he's a really good player. So we are going to take A.J. Halsey here with the pick in the 3rd round, add more depth to our secondary. They say it was a little bit of a reach, but we'll see how he develops for us. And we are just going to sim ahead to the end of the draft and take a look. We'll take a recap of all the picks that we made. All right, so we are going to look at all the picks that we made. We had Cardinal Tate in the 1st round. We also drafted A.J. Halsey. We signed Nick Harbor, too, out of South Carolina. He was just there. He has a 99 speed, 97 excel, 6'5 as well. We took Jamal Haynes as well in the 4th round. DJ Campbell, solid right guard in the 5th. And then we got our punter, Brett Thorson, too. So we are going to advance to the end of the preseason, take a look at the lineup real quick, and then sim to the midway point. Okay, so let's take a look at our roster real quick before we start the season. We got Jalen Hurts and Tanner McKee at quarterback. At running back, we have Saquon, Bigsby, and Shipley. We also have Haynes in here as well. At fullback, we're going to have Calcaterra. Our wide receivers, Devontae Smith's our new number 1. We're going to put Cardinal Tate at the number 2 spot. Christian Kirk will be our slot receiver. And we also have Nick Harbor as well. These are our tight ends. This is what the line's looking like. We got Mariota at left tackle. At left guard, we got Dickerson. At center, we got Juergens. Right guard, we got Steen. And at right tackle, we are going to have Moten, who we just signed in free agency. This is what the pass rush is looking like. We got Nick Smith Jr. that's going to be starting at left edge for us. At right edge, we got Phillips back. D tackles, we still got Jordan Davis as well. Jalen Carter has an injury, so when he comes back, he'll be the starter for us. Our Sam, we got Trotter Jr. Our linebacker, first year for Jahad Campbell starting. I think he's going to be a monster for us. Zach Bond is our Will. And look at this secondary. We got Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, but we also got our newly acquired Kamari Lassiter. I mean, it's just absolute lockdown back there. We love that. We're also going to have Keely Ringo getting some playing time as well. Our safeties, we got Blankenship, and we have Halsey backing him up. And at strong safety, we are going to start Makuba. I think he's going to develop really well for us, but we do have Sidney Brown backing him up. We got Jake Elliott at kicker, and at punter, we have Brett Thorson, who we drafted in the 7th round. So that's what the team is looking like. We're going to sim to the halfway point and see how this team is looking. Okay, so at the halfway point, we are 5-2, so the team has been playing pretty well. If we take a look at the standings, so we're 5-2. Let's take a look at the overall standings real quick. And the NFC, we are second right behind the Rams. We also have the Cowboys at 3-4, Giants at 2-4, and Commanders at 3-4. So we got a 2-game lead in the NFC East. Let's take a look at the stats. Jalen Hurts, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks, 1,600 yards. Okay, so he's top 10 in the league in that category. Saquon has 353 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bigsby's been getting some run as well. Look at receiving. Devontae Smith is really flourishing as the number 1. Through 7 games, he already has 685 yards. Cardinal Tate with 302. Goddard's been pretty good for us. Kirk as well. If we look defensively, we see Jordan Davis has 4 sacks for us, 2.5 for Bond, 2.5 for Phillips, 3 sacks for Campbell. He already has 52 tackles, so we love that. A pick from Cooper DeJean, from Sidney Brown as well, and that's what we're looking like. So team's been pretty solid. Overall, we are 4th in offense in the NFL, so that's great to see. Defensively, we'll see how we are looking. We're kind of middle of the pack. Wow, we're actually like farther down than I would like. So we are going to entertain the trade market here, see who's on the block, see if anyone's available that we like, see if we can make a trade. If not, we'll sim ahead to the playoffs. Okay, so we are going to entertain some trades for Dallas Goedert. The Bears are offering us Rome Odunze in a 5th and a 7th round pick. So I really like that. The Bears are like 1-6 in this, so they're not doing well at all. Barrett Carter, TJ Sanders, Ladd McConkey, which is interesting. Josh Connolly Jr., Jordan Brooks, Keon Ellis, Ayuk. This does have me thinking a little bit. The only thing is I don't want to bring in another diva after we just traded A.J. Brown, but I do like the 3rd round pick, and I think the 49ers are going to trade him. But this is the trade I'm looking at. We're going to trade Dallas Goedert to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Brian Thomas Jr. and a 4th round pick in a few years from now. Now, Brian Thomas this year, there was questions. Is he a good fit? He kind of played down towards the end, but I could see the Jaguars potentially moving him. I know this might not be super realistic, but Dallas Goedert and Brendan Strange would give them a really good tight end combo. Along with that wide receiver, they still have Travis Hunter out there as well. So we are going to do this trade. We are going to bring Brian Thomas Jr. to the Eagles. Now, if we take a quick look at our depth chart, how this is looking out, we are going to have Brian Thomas Jr. slot right in here. He's an 86, 97 speed. So we're going to have him right behind Devontae Smith and Cardinal Tate as well. We still have Nick Harbor too. I want Kirk kind of as our 5th guy. He didn't really do much this year. He did have that good playoff game. And I do want to put Brian Thomas Jr. in the slot just because he's so fast. And I really, really like this move for us to add him too. So, and we do have Devontae Smith primarily playing the slot. So we'll have him and Brian Thomas rotate. We're going to see if we can do any re-signings real quick. Jordan Davis is someone we definitely have to bring back. He's pretty interested too. So let's see if we can get him for 17.5 for 2 years. So that would be $35 million. So we're going to re-sign Jordan Davis. And Jalen Phillips hasn't done too much for us, but he's already an 82. He's not interested. Let's see if we can try to overpay him again. We'll go 2 years. We'll give him $20 million a year. If he's not taking that, we're just going to let him walk, or we'll tag him again and trade him. Yeah, okay, so he's not really interested. Tank Bigsby, I do really love him as a backup. He's already an 80 overall. We'll give him a 2-year, $4.5 million deal. Okay. We like that. no one else I really want to re-sign here. We'll deal with Moten in the offseason. I think I might entertain potentially a Jalen Phillips trade because it looks like we're just not going to re-sign him, and I don't want to tag him again. So maybe we'll entertain this before we sim forward, but let's see if we can potentially get anything good for him. Okay, so with entertaining the Jalen Phillips trade, no one really I could find myself that was super interesting, but I do want to move him because I don't think we're going to be able to re-sign him. Scourton here from the Panthers is really interesting, but I am going to take Oladipo here. I could see the Titans doing it because they're not giving that much draft capital back. They're getting a guy who is more established, and they have a ton of cap space. So we are going to take Oladipo here in the trade for Phillips. So we do add to our team Brian Thomas and Oladipo as well. And we will just adjust the depth chart real quick and make sure that we get Oladipo starting here. So we do have Nick Smith on this side, and on that side we will have Oladipo starting for us. So let's sim ahead and see how this team is looking and see how far we can go into the playoffs. Okay, so we finished 10-7 at the end of the regular season after starting out 5-2. So we went 5-5 along the last 10 weeks. If we take a look, we did get a wild card spot against the Falcons. The Giants ended up winning the division. You have the Rams as the number 1 seed on our side. The number 1 seed on the AFC is the Patriots. You had the Colts winning the South, the Raiders winning the West, and the Ravens winning the North, with the Broncos, Chargers, and Bengals as your wild card teams. Let's take a look to see how the team did stat-wise. So Jalen Hurts had an okay year, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks, 3,500 yards, 65% completion percentage. Saquon runs for 1,000 with 11 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, 5 touchdowns. Bigsby was a good backup for us. If we look at the receiving stats, we do have Devontae Smith and Brian Thomas both with 1,000 yards. So Brian Thomas really needed a change of scenery. He played well for us. Cardinal Tate, really good rookie season too. 687 yards, 7 touchdowns. Christian Kirk gave us some production too at 258 yards as well. We did end up signing Foster Moreau to be our new tight end. He played pretty well for us too. So if we take a look at the defense, Jahad Campbell in his first year, 135 tackles as a starter, 4.5 sacks. We had Sidney Brown with 3 picks for us at strong safety with 109 tackles. Cooper DeJean had 8 tackles for a loss, 96 tackles, 2 picks. Lassiter, who we got in that trade, 83 tackles and a pick. If we look at who led our team in sacks, we had Jalen Carter with 8, Jordan Davis with 7. Oladipo, who we got in that trade for Dallas Goedert, not Dallas Goedert, excuse me, Jalen Phillips, he had 7 sacks for us, so that's pretty good. Only in his second year, I think he'll develop really well. Braun had 5.5 sacks. Nick Smith really didn't produce too much for us, so it's going to kind of be hard to re-sign him. Let's take a look around the league. We were 13th in offense, so middle of the pack. Defensively, I think we were middle of the pack as well. Yeah, kind of more towards the bottom. Let's take a look around the league and who did really well. If we take a look overall at the NFL, Joe Burrow led the league in passing, 5,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 6 picks. Dak Prescott right behind him. Josh Allen too. Jordan Love. Garrett Nussmeier, he always ends up going to the Rams because Matt Stafford retired, and he always kills it. So 36-10 is great. Jackson Dart did really well for the Giants as well. Jonathan Taylor almost runs for 1,600 yards. Gibbs with 14. Bijan with about 14. Kenneth Walker did really well too, and Derrick Henry still doing it in Baltimore, 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns. Good year for Genty as well. And in receiving, Puka had 1,600 yards with 21 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson with 1,600 yards. Wow, Wan'Dale Robinson is a beast in this game and in real life too. And Romeo Doubs had more yards than Jamar Chase on the Bengals. The Bengals offense in this for a simulation is crazy. CeeDee Lamb with 1,300. Jamison Williams with about 12. And if we look around the league, Al Shahir with 156 tackles, Roquan Smith right behind him, Landman as well. We'll see who led the league in picks. DJ Reed, Jermaine Pratt, and Christian Gonzalez. And if we look at sacks, Max Crosby 20.5, Burns with 19.5, Parsons with 19, and Grenard with 17.5. We did try to trade for Grenard, but the Vikings just weren't having it. But if we take a look overall at the year heading into this league, we trade A.J. Brown for Lassiter. We traded Dallas Goedert for Brian Thomas Jr., who had 1,000 yards. And we did trade Phillips for Oladipo, who ended up having a lot more production for us. Okay, so if we look at the playoff bracket, we did beat the Falcons by 8. We had 325 yards on offense, 118 rushing yards, 200 passing yards. We really shut down their run game in Bijan. He only had 44. They only had 44 rushing yards and only 295. We did have a turnover as well. Let's take a look at the stats. Penix didn't even play bad for them either. Jalen Hurts had a really good game, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. We only gave up 1 sack. And yeah, Bijan completely shut him down. 14 carries, only 31 yards. Saquon had a really good game for us with a rushing touchdown. We take a look at receiving. Brian Thomas Jr., in his first playoff start for the Eagles, had 8 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Devontae Smith had a good game as well. And if we take a look at our defense, Nolan Smith Jr., we needed him to step up. He didn't have a good regular season. He has 9 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and half a sack. We also take a look at who else played well for us. Another half a sack for Jordan Davis, too. And we had 2 sacks for Oladipo. Oladipo ended up being a really good trade for us, so I'm kind of happy with how that turned out. But unfortunately, we do have to play the Rams in LA. You got the Lions and Giants at the bottom. You got the Patriots and Bengals. Bengals upsetting the number 2 seeded Colts. And the Raiders. Let's take a look at the Raiders. They always end up being good right after this year. Dante Moore doing it for them. We'll look at the Ravens. Look like a defensive game there. Good game for Lamar. Big game from Henry as well. But unfortunately, we do have an injury. We did lose Cooper DeJean to a dislocated hip. He's out for the rest of the season. So we do have Lassiter is going to start for us, who we got in that A.J. Brown trade. He's already a 90 overall, so we're really going to need him to step up, and we're going to need a big game from Michael Carter Jr. as his backup as well. So let's see if we can upset the Rams and make it to the NFC Championship game. And look at what we got here. The Philadelphia Eagles go to LA and upset the number 1 seed Rams. And our defense again, just shutting down the run game. They only had 66 yards, 240 yards passing. We had a mediocre game on offense. We didn't even turn any turnovers either, but we did only allow 2 third-down conversions the whole game. Really shut them down in the red zone here. Let's take a look at the stats. Jalen Hurts, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Garrett Nussmeier didn't do much. Take a look at the rushing. Good game from Saquon. He did fumble, but he had 81 yards and a touchdown. Really shut down Blake Corum. Take a look at the receiving, too. Puka had a good game. Cardinal Tate, our rookie, 8 catches and 112 yards. Devontae Smith didn't do too much. Brian Thomas Jr. did have a touchdown, but it was a big game from Cardinal Tate. And if we take a look at our defense, Campbell had 8 tackles. We did have 7 tackles and a sack from Smith, so he really kind of turned it on in the playoffs for us. Lassiter had a pretty good game, 6 tackles. Mitchell with 5. We did get a sack from Zach Braun as well. So our defense has been doing really well. We're playing that Giants at MetLife. The Giants upset the number 2 seed Lions, and Jackson Dart has been a beast for them. Cam Scatabo has been playing really well for them as well. Wan'Dale Robinson has been a force all year in Neighbors. So our secondary, Lassiter and Mitchell are going to have really good games for us. Their defense has been really solid in New York as well. And on the AFC side, you see the Patriots beating the Bengals. Big game from Drake May, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Joe Burrow threw for a lot, but no touchdowns. And the Patriots have Nick Chubb, who ran for 83 yards, so he's still doing well for them. Receiving, Romeo Doubs, for some reason, it's unbelievable with Cincy, and they have Okwangu, too, who had a big game. Defensively, New England was really well. No touchdowns from Joe Burrow. And the Ravens beat the Raiders. Big game from Omar, only 122 yards passing, but 3 touchdowns. Good game from Dante Moore as well. Genty and Hendry both had solid games. Receiving games, big game for Trey Tucker. Duvernay was big for the Ravens. So that's what it is looking like on the AFC. So your AFC Championship, you got the Ravens and the Patriots going to New England, and you got an NFC East showdown between the Giants and the Eagles. Let's see if we could bring the city of brotherly love back to the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, we fall just short to the New York Giants as we lose by 6 points. Let's take a look. Their offense absolutely torched us. 160 yards rushing, 270 yards passing. Wow, they only had 1 turnover. They got 9 third down conversions. We couldn't stop them at all. Jackson Dart torched us. Not the best game from Hurts. Scatabo played really well. Tyrone Tracy as well. And we couldn't just stop them on offense. They have Mekhi Lemon, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Neighbors. They have a nasty wide receiver core. Devontae Smith had a touchdown for us. Brian Thomas Jr. as well. But defensively, we just got torched. And that's what happens. It was a close game. We lost to the better team. We'll take a look at the Patriots and Ravens too. Drake May with another big game. Lamar didn't play bad either. The Ravens, just looking solid here. They've had a lot of production from Duvernay too. Scored back-to-back games. So you're going to have a rematch of that undefeated Patriots team against the Giants in the Super Bowl here. We are going to sim to the offseason. I'll let you guys know who won the Super Bowl, and we'll see if we can make any trades or big signings in free agency to improve this team. So if we take a look at how the Super Bowl went, the Giants won the Super Bowl. Jackson Dart is your Super Bowl MVP. Burrow wins the NFL MVP. Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel. Puka, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Max Crosby. Jeremiah Love for the Cowboys is your Rookie of the Year, and Danny Dennis Sutton is the Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Panthers. So the Giants win their Super Bowl with Harbaugh, 5-time Super Bowl champs. We are going to get into the offseason re-signing period, try to make some signings in free agency, and then head to the next season. Okay, so as we go into the offseason re-signing period, we do have about $89 million in cap. I restructured Saquon Barkley and Malliada's contracts, so that created an overall $9 million for us. We do have to make some big signings here. We are going to accept Mitchell's 5th-year option as well as Brian Thomas Jr. So we'll accept those. Christian Kirk, we're going to let walk. Sidney Brown had a good year for us. We're going to try to keep him around. We'll give him a 2-year deal for $6 million, so it'll be $12 million overall. So we keep Sidney Brown back. He had a good year for us. Keely Ringo, I think we're going to walk. Ojoma, we're going to let walk as well. There's nobody else here that I'm really interested in re-signing. So we are going to we'll re-sign our long snapper real quick. If he's interested. Okay, great. And now we're going to, try to make some signings in free agency and go from there. Okay, so if we take a look at the free agency recap, I did try to sign Quinnen Williams. I offered him, I think, about $20 million a year, so he went a little more money to the New England. Marlon Humphrey goes to the Rams. I did try to sign Brian O'Neill as well. I offered him $22 million a year. He took 25 for the Rams. Rashee Rice goes to the Commanders. Jamal Dean to the Falcons. If we take a look at who I signed, I did sign Nick Herbert. I wanted another pass rusher to go along with the guys I got. He's been really solid for the Steelers, so not a far move for him. And I did sign Michael Mayer. I am going to entertain the trade market too, because I do want to get another tight end, or maybe, just really try to get another star on this team to see how good we can be. So we're going to look at the trade market real quick before we get into the draft and see if we can acquire anyone. Okay, so we are going to do this trade for Kyle Pitts Sr. We trade Michael Carter II, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick this year, and a 3rd-round pick next year. If you take a look at our draft capital too, because we traded back in the draft last year and got a lot of capital, we still have our first 2 seconds this year, 2 thirds next year. A first and 2 seconds this year, 2 thirds this year, 2 fifths this year. 2.6 this year and 3.7. So we still have a ton of capital. We add Kyle Pitts Sr. to this lineup. So now there's no excuse for Jalen Hurts, right? He has Saquon and Tank Bigsby at running back. At wide receiver, he has Devontae Smith, Brian Thomas Jr., Cardinal Tate, and Nick Harbor. Our tight end now, he has Kyle Pitts Sr. I also signed Michael Mayer in free agency. So he has all the options he needs. He has a good line. I think what we're going to address in the draft is potentially, best available really, but we'll see if we can get another right guard potentially. I don't believe we signed anybody at right tackle. Let's just take a look real quick. Yeah, no one at right tackle. So it's either going to be right tackle or right guard. So we'll see what's available. We'll go to the draft, make some picks, and then head into the offseason. Okay, so we are at the NFL draft. I just simmed to our pick, but here's a recap of everything. We're going to pause it real quick. We got Jeremiah Smith going to the Texans, Colin Simmons to the 49ers, Julian Sayin is to the Browns, Dylan Stewart to the Jets, Raiola goes to the Steelers. Some other big names you see, Ryan Williams goes to the Chiefs to replace Rashee Rice. Let's see, anyone else? We do see Sammy Brown go to the Cowboys. So let's see if we can get our right tackle here of the future. Ty Simpson is available, Cam Coleman as well. So no real good linemen available. Let's see. Yeah, so all the right tackles look like they're going to be going later. Defensive tackle, Amari Washington. So let's maybe see what trade value we have right here. Nothing crazy. Okay, so maybe let's entertain the trade market and see if we can trade for a right tackle real quick. Okay, so we are going to do this trade with the Packers. We're going to trade our 29th overall pick, our 61st overall pick this year, and our second next year in Mac McWilliams for Zach Tom. We really need a right tackle. I think this is going to be a good move for us. We still have a second-round pick and 2/3 in this draft. So we're going to see if they accept this, and they do. So we are going to add Zach Tom to our line. I really like that trade for us. We needed help really bad on the offensive line. And the Packers didn't have a first-round pick this year. So we are going to sim to the end of the draft. We'll make a couple picks. I'll show you what guys I drafted, and then we'll head to the midseason point and see how we're looking. Okay, guys, so we are at the start of the regular season. I wanted to show you guys who I drafted and just what the roster's looking like. I did draft Arch Manning in the second round. I did want to put a little bit of pressure behind Jalen Hurts. Obviously, if he goes down, we'll let Arch play, but we'll kind of see how he develops. At running back 2, we are going to move Haynes up to that third spot. We still got Barkley and Bigsby. At fullback, we are going to have Michael Mayer start for us. At wide receiver, we got Devontae Smith, Brian Thomas Jr., Cardinal Tate. We still got Nick Harbor as well. Terrence Marshall Jr. too. And at tight end, we do got the newly acquired Kyle Pitts Sr. along with Michael Mayer. At left tackle, we still got Maliata, Dickerson at left guard. At center, we got Juergens. At right guard, we do have Makari. And at right tackle, we do have the newly acquired Zach Tom. So I really like how our line's looking. At edge rush, we do got Smith and Herbig on the left side. On the right side, we do have Oladipo and Hunt. At D tackle, we still got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis too. Sam, we still got Trotter. Campbell is our middle linebacker, already up to an 86. We still got Bond at an 88. We have that great secondary Mitchell, Lassiter, and Cooper DeJean. At free safety, we have Blankenship. We have strong safety Sidney Brown and Makuba as well. We are going to start Makuba and kind of have Brown be that backup for us. I did also take in the draft, just wanted to kind of fill you guys in, I did take Jaden Bellamy as well, just for another corner. I do kind of want to get him some playing time. I took Ashton Stamps as well, who's already a 73. So we are going to have Ashton Stamps and Bellamy back up our corners. But that's what the team is looking like. Let's see what we're looking like at the halfway point. Okay, so I have decided to do a trade. The Browns, they have Julian Sayin at quarterback, but he's just playing really bad for them. They're really interested in Hurts. I think I'm going to let Arch Manning take the reins. Jalen Hurts is in the bottom 20 in all the categories. We're 3-3 at the trade deadline. We have to do a move. I think we could add Myles Garrett and just make an absolute insane defensive line. Let's see what we can get out of Arch Manning, but I think Jalen Hurts he hasn't been the answer for us, even though he won a Super Bowl. Where they want a little more than what we are offering, which is already a lot. So we'll offer our first-round pick next year, a fourth-round pick this year, and a third-round pick next year in Jalen Hurts for Myles Garrett. And they do that. So we add Myles Garrett to this defense. We are going to have to sign a veteran quarterback to back up Arch, but Arch Manning is going to lead the Eagles offense. He has stacked weapons all around him, but we really needed to make a move there. You know, Hurts just was not getting it done. If we take a look at our pass rush, we have Nick Smith Jr. and Herbig on one side, and then we will have Oladipo and Myles Garrett on the other, along with the defensive front of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So this defense is absolutely stacked. We are 6th in opposing pass yards and 4th in opposing rush yards, so we're only going to get better on that front. And if we look at available free agent quarterbacks, really just Jameis Winston, nothing crazy, nobody that I really like, but we will bring Jameis in just for good vibes and also to back up Arch Manning. But Arch Manning is going to be our starting quarterback going forward. Let's see if Arch Manning can just do enough. We'll rely on our defense, and let's see if we can make a playoff push. And wow, look at this. After going 3-3, trading Jalen Hurts and some picks for Myles Garrett, we end the season 10-7. So we went 7-4 to end the season. Not bad. We end up in the second wild card spot, and the Commanders come atop on the NFC East. They are the 1 seed, Rams the 2, Saints the 3, and Lions and Giants rematch 4-5. So we are going to be traveling to New Orleans. We look at the AFC side. We got the Chargers at the 1 seed, Bills and Broncos at 2-7, Ravens and Patriots, a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year, and then you got the Jaguars and the Titans as well. Let's see how the team played in the second half. We ended up 5th in offensive yards. So our offense was solid, we were middle of the pack when we had Jalen Hurts there. Our defense was middle of the pack as well. Let's see how the stats were. So Arch Manning started for us week 7. He ended up with 20 touchdowns and 8 picks, 2,500 yards. That's not bad in half a season at all. Saquon, 1,300 yards. He's still doing it in his 9th year. Arch ran a little bit. Bigsby as well. If we look at the receiving stats, Devontae Smith, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Cardinal Tate with 800 yards. Brian Thomas Jr. with 724. Kyle Pitts Sr. with 570. If we take a look at the defense, so when we traded for Myles Garrett, he only had 1.5 sacks. He only had 4.5, so not doing much here. 9 tackles for a loss. Big season for Nolan Smith Jr. and Jalen Carter had a pretty good year as well. If we look at the interceptions, 3 from Lassiter, 2 from Makuba, 2 from Brown, and 2 from Mitchell as well. So let's sim ahead to this after the wild card round and see if we can upset the Saints. And we lose to the Saints. They beat us 21-14. We take a look at the stats. Arch Manning, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. It looks like he is going to be our QB of the future. Anthony Richardson is a guy in New Orleans. He didn't have a bad game. Good game from Barkley. Good receiving game from Olave. 2 touchdowns for Smith. Defensively, just couldn't really get after the quarterback. Jalen Carter had a sack, but we didn't get much besides that. Unfortunately, we fall short to the Saints. I think we have a stacked defense. We're going to have Arch Manning leading the way in the future. Let's sim to the end of the playoffs and see how everything shakes up. So if we take a look at the recap, this is crazy. The Tennessee Titans win the Super Bowl. The Giants go back-to-back years to the Super Bowls but fall short. Josh Allen wins MVP. Harbaugh, Coach of the Year. Ladd McConkey, Offensive Player of the Year. Jeffrey Simmons wins Defensive Player of the Year. Nate Frazier is your Rookie of the Year. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Sammy Brown. Let's take a look at how the playoffs shaped up, because that is crazy to think the Titans went that far. They were a 5 seed, and they win the Super Bowl. Cam Ward played really well for them. They have Caden Duran out of LSU as their running back, and they have Jordan Tyson as well. It looks like their defense was really good along the way. Kind of shut down the Jaguars, shut down the Patriots, played good against the Chargers, and they played good against the Giants as well. Cam Ward wasn't even in these games, not doing too much. Jordan Tyson's been a beast for them. They got Brisker. Let's see who's getting after the quarterback. McCullough here. Yeah, it looks like their defense was just really solid. Out of the NFC, the Giants went on a run as a 5 seed. So we had a 5 seed, which is crazy. Cam Ward played really good in the AFC Championship game. Two sacks from Jeffrey Simmons. And let's take a look at this Super Bowl matchup. Cam Ward first dart. And yeah, it looks like just the Titans defense was just a force all year. I mean, they were great. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. I am going to save this franchise. If you guys do want to see me sim ahead a couple more years with Arch Manning at the quarterback, let me know. I did a poll for our next rebuild video. I think it was the Titans, Steelers, and Vikings, and I believe there was another NFC team in there, and the Falcons too. So if you guys want to vote on what rebuild I should do next, just take a vote on my YouTube channel. It's the same name, Ghosty Vanish, as well. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and until the next video.